Siddur Snippet series is generally sponsored by the Saka family, sponsored as well by Ayala and Avram Foreman. Tonight's snippet is also dedicated in memory of my beloved grandfather, Yehuda Leib ben Shlomo Zalman, whose yahrzeit is tonight and tomorrow. We're up to the 15th bracha of the Amida, the bracha of Tzemach Dovid Avdecha. We mentioned in the last bracha, we seem to have covered this theme already, because in the bracha with Yerushalayim we concluded, V'chisei Dovid Meira, the Socha Tochen. Yerushalayim is incomplete, even when it will be rebuilt, even when its edifices are outstanding. It's really not about the buildings, the brick and mortar. It's not about how busy a metropolis Yerushalayim becomes. It's about Malchus Beis Dovid. It's about the neshama of the city being restored. But then we go on, even though we've already mentioned it, we dedicate an entire new bracha. Now the truth is, originally the Amida was made up of 17 brachas, and Vilu Yerushalayim and Tzemach Dovid were combined, were one bracha. And that singular one bracha ended, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokei Dovid Ubonei Yerushalayim. The two went together. Of course, Birchas Aminim, we studied V'la Mashinim on the bracha, the 19th or 18th bracha, depending how you see it, was added. And then Tzemach Dovid and in Bavel, Tzemach Dovid and Yerushalayim were split, not from one into two. Why were they split, and why Davka in Bavel? Rav Soloveitchik suggested that maybe the Jews who lived in exile, the Jews who lived in the diaspora, among other nations, Dafka needed a bracha to reinforce within themselves, but maybe even more among our host nation, as Tzemach Dovid Avdecha Meheres Hatzmiach, we're longing for Mashiach. Why? Because he's not yet come. When we lived among a particular host nation who were under the false impression in their false Messiah that he's already come, these two brachas were split, and it got its own conclusion, its own chasima, because as Tzemach Dovid Avdecha, we need to reinforce this notion that he has not yet come, he's not yet here. We desperately long for him with all of our being. Each bracha we've covered in the Amida so far, the first 14, we shared the historical precedent. These brachas, Anshe Knesset Agadola, were able to tap into universal needs in all times and in all places. They authored words which would be meaningful and resonate no matter where, no matter when. They unite us with all who came before and all who will come after. The words of the Amida are incredible when you think about what davening does to ma'ached, to unify the Jewish people. When we say this Amida, we're saying the same words our great-great-great-great-grandparents said, and amidst Hashem, the same words our great-great-great-great-grandchildren will say, and no matter where they'll live and what language they'll speak as their first language, the Amida is the universal language of Am Yisrael. Anshe Knesset Agadola authored such words that would always resonate and always have this meaning. So the Shibolei Aleket, one of the Rishonim, tells us the historical precedent based on Chazal, where these brachas, how did they know? How did they know these 18? How did they know these 19? Particularly the middle brachas, the brachas of Bakasha. What are the Bakasha? What are the requests? What are the needs? What are the supplications that will apply to all of us always? So they modeled it, they patterned after what came before. And we've seen the historical precedent for each bracha that we've learned together so far. So this 15th bracha, Tzemach Dovid, Shibolei Aleket says, also has a historical background. It's a background, of course, we're all familiar with. When Klal Yisrael left Mitzrayim, when the Jewish people were liberated from Egypt, they thought they were finally free, but they'd not yet fulfilled all the stages of Geula. And all of a sudden, the Egyptians, Paro had regret, and he sent his chariots and his army to pursue the people. And we found ourselves between the proverbial rock and hard place. The Mitzrayim were pursuing in the back, the Yam Suf, the sea, was before us, and of course in that moment it seemed helpless and hopeless. Hashem said, start walking. Stop what you're doing, start walking. So much to say about it. We did back in Az Yashir. In any case, the sea split, Klal Yisrael crossed, and when they turned back they saw that not only did they survive, but the sea closed in exactly on their oppressor, on their tormentor, and they were finally liberated. They had closure. As long as their tormentor and oppressor, their persecutors were alive, they were never truly free. But when they were able to turn around and see that the sea had closed in on the Mitzrayim, they sang Az Yashir. And here's the Shibolei Aleket. When they sang Az Yashir, the Malachim, the angels, simultaneously sang out, Baruch Atah Hashem, Matzmiach Keren Yeshua. In that moment that we sang Az Yashir, acknowledging the miracle that happened, the sea split, when it felt like the walls were caving in, Hashem had a plan. Just in that moment, simultaneously the Malachim declared Matzmiach Keren Yeshua, and that is the background, the precedent for this bracha. What's funny about the language, Matzmiach Keren Yeshua, sounds like even though the incident was done, it was concluded, the miracle had occurred, they were saved, they were redeemed. Nevertheless, the bracha is couched, and what the Malachim sang sounds like not only reflective of something in the past, not only something retrospective, But prospectively, Hashem will continue to make redemption flourish. Hashem is the one who continues to develop a sense of geula and a sense of redemption. Why were the malachim commenting on something in the future if it was supposed to be a song and gratitude of something in the past? You could ask the same of Az Yashir itself. Az Yashir, but Az Yashir, Az in the future, Yashir. Not we did sing, not we are singing, we will sing. So it's expressing gratitude of something that happened. Why is it stated in the future? So I saw Rav Yitzchak Kirzner brings down the following suggestion. Chazal also say until then nobody sang Shira, which is perplexing because we have prior examples in Tanakh of individuals who miracles happened and they did say thank you to Hashem. So what does it mean no one sang Shira until then? So he suggests it's a particular type of Shira. There's gratitude that says this particular incident happened. This specific occurrence happened. Thank you Hashem, there was a miracle, I survived, I walked away. It's wonderful. But there is a much more profound reflection, which doesn't focus in narrowly on the incident, but then zooms out the lens and says, Hashem, there are ups and downs in life, but I'm here for a mission. And the world is going to unfold, the world will be revealed until we are at your vision for it. And whatever my ups and downs, whatever this incident, the same way that you redeemed me right now in the here and now, you will continue to guide this mission till it comes to fruition, until these ups and downs, until the mission is complete when Mashiach comes. And that's Shira, the Shira that sees it not as a focused specific incident, but sees it in the context of something so much bigger, that we're here for a mission to redeem Hashem's world, to repair Hashem's world, to represent His truth, and to be able to bring us to Mashiach. That's Shira that sees it not as an incident, but in a bigger context and a sense of mission that had never been done until now. And that's why, as Yashir, Moshe and Klal Yisrael's reflection was that not only did right now a miracle happen, but we're going to have ups and downs. It's going to be an adventurous ride. It's going to be a roller coaster of Klal Yisrael. But each time we are getting closer towards the goal, towards repairing and redeeming this world till the mission is complete, until Mashiach comes. And that's what the Malachim were noting as well. Matzmiach Karen Yeshua, that there's ups and downs, there's redemption. We're in a dark place right now, a very difficult time for Klal Yisrael. And if you didn't have that emunah, that bitachon, if you couldn't say this bracha, if we didn't have this insight, you could become hopeless. You could give up. We're so alone, we're so hated, it's so challenging, this war is so dragging on, the hostages for so long have been in our enemies' hands. But we know how the story ends. We know the destination, we know the goal, we know where we're going. And therefore, Matzmiach Karen Yeshua, He's going to keep escorting us, keep navigating, keep taking us. And therefore, even in the ups and downs and even the twists and turns, we know He's going to bring us. And that's why it's described in the future, not only in the present.